Welcome everybody for another Company Fearless 3 cast. This time it's me, Hablaut, here playing as the UK forces, and I play against Griffus1 playing as the DAK. And I would like to anticipate that this video is not a regular how you may play the UK forces against the DAK or stuff like that, but rather a video on how you may play the UK forces against the DAK pizza tank spam. So, despite from that, I think, and that's the most important part over here, you may start the game with a standard build order. So in this case we see my personal standard opener with the UK forces. So I really like to open with the Dingo Light Scout car. So I go for the T1 and start with the Dingo. Open with 2 Zappers, and yeah, this actually enables me to spread my army a little bit. So the Zappers are actually able to spread Captain North as well as the South, and then the Dingo is able to just recon and harass the enemy a little bit. And if there are enemy units, for instance in the North or in the South, doesn't matter, then the Dingo can just engage them real quick, take out some models, hit back, get some repairs, engage again, stuff like that. Actually, my enemy, the DAK forces player, decided to do the very same thing with the 250, so I think that's a threat. And if you see that, make sure that your Dingo is focusing in as much as possible, because actually the 250 can be repaired the same way the Dingo can be. Okay, and at this point of the match, something important happened. I revealed this engineer over here, as well as this engineer over here, as well as the 250. And with that, I was pretty sure that I will face a pizza tank spam, because when DAK players open with 2 engineers, then, yeah, I feel like, because they are not too strong actually in fighting, I feel like he's planning to have some more repairs later on in the match, so that he can, yeah, have more repairs for his pizza tanks actually. Thus, as soon as you face stuff like that, make sure that you sooner or later will pick this doctrine over here, the British Armored Battle Group, because I think the Crusader AA medium tank will come just in time to deal with the pizza tanks, and we will see that it's effective enough to deal with them. So, however, until this point of the match, just make sure that you play like your regular UK forces playstyle, repair your Dingo, start harassing a little bit more. Now we see, I mean, this squad already took lots of damage. And we see that the DAK forces player is going for a Flamer. That's actually a wise choice. However, I think at this point of the match I already have enough troops to threaten the 250 with small arms fire. Oh, is that a wipe? No, it's not. Okay. Thus, yeah, it's difficult for the DAK player to have this engagement over here. I think that was a mistake. Yeah, okay. And you see, the 250, yeah, takes a lot of damage of small arms fire. And, I mean, the Dingo can't carry troops, actually, so the Flamer action is not possible using the Dingo. However, the Dingo is slightly stronger than 250, so there we have the strengths and weaknesses of these units. Okay, so in the meantime, why? Oh no, why I waste my Dingo? I'm capping the map in the south, and I think that's really important. And there we see another factor why it's important to go, I guess, for the Dingo and to spread your army a little bit, because with that you can make sure that you get some map control and some fuel early on, and with that some command points, because not just capping stuff and building units and killing units is giving you command points, but also, oh, what did I say? Yeah, but capping. Capping, killing, building units, stuff like that. All of that. Teching, of course, teching, building stuff. All this stuff is giving you more command points, and you really would like to have the command points just in time. Now we got 2 command points. 1 command point needs to be spent on the rigorous vehicle training, which actually is nice. We'll see that later on. However, we still need more command points, 3 more command points for the Crusader. So make sure that you play aggressively. Make sure that you got tags for your, for instance, the sniper scope things for your army, and just engage where you can. Kill stuff, lose stuff. That will all grant you some command points, and it's important actually. Yeah. Okay, 1 command point is spent. Now we already have 2 again. Very soon, I guess, yes. 50 command points to go for. Okay, in the meantime, yeah, I mean, I assume you already watched the, my standard build order is the UK forces. Usually I start with 3 sections, 2 engineers, a dingo, which I of course don't waste. And yeah, then it's depending on which battle group you go. If you are not facing the pizza tank abuse, then you may feel free to go for the Indian artillery battle group and get yourself the mortar, for instance, and the weaker carrying the mortar. Actually is able to be upgraded with heals. So this is how you may skip the field infirmary. However, if you're going for this threat with the British Armor Battle Group, then you should build the field infirmary, but just by this moment or maybe earlier. Don't forget to get the grenade package upgrade as well. And if you see some MGs like over here, just avoid them. Play around the MG. That's the way to go. Try not to lose your units. Alright. As long as the MG is over here, you also can feel free to just blob a little bit, because, yeah, it won't pin you anyways, because your army is not in range. Ah, yeah. Now we see something that's actually a wise choice of the DRK forces player. He went for the Assault Grenadier squad. And that's a good choice because you need some more anti-inf firepower. And there's also the possibility for the DIK to get the call in with the Assault Grenadiers, with the 250. However, when you go for that, then you are lacking anti-tank, because the other choice would be to go for the mechanized anti-tank group. I think this is what he was saying for. So he was building the Assault Grenadiers manually to save up for the mechanized anti-tank group. That's a good choice. I also would recommend that. Okay. Okay, this engagement is a little bit too greedy actually. Let's see whether that will work. Not quite a good choice of me. Ooh, that could be a wipe. Maybe not. The MG now will face the wrong direction. That's good. Okay. Complete map control. That is good. That's important. Some idle units. That's not good. Don't forget to use follow-up commands. I forgot at this very moment. Oh, and there we see the first pizza tank. So, actually, my intuition was right. We see the first pizza tank. We don't see a 8-Rad armored car, however. So, that's another thing. Usually, before the first pizza tank, we see an 8-Rad armored car. And that is a huge threat. And if you see that, you maybe should go for... I mean, you already tagged to the platoon command post. And you should... and you already got the snare grenades for your inf. You also should make sure that you go for an anti-tank gun. I know the anti-tank guns are not so useful at the moment, because mostly they hit the ground or miss, stuff like that. That is really annoying. However, I think that is the way to go for when you are playing this build, actually. Because, I mean, the Crusader AA medium tank is just coming right now. Now for the 8 armored car, it become a little bit too late. Okay. However, now we see the first pizza tank. It's taking the first or the initial damage. Very soon I think we should see the call-in of the Crusader A medium tank. Very soon. Yeah, another thing. Don't overextend too much. As soon as you see the Carro Armato, make sure that you are retreating more than harassing your enemy, because this unit is really good in wiping your units during retreat. So it's just following them and wiping them. That's not good. The same applies for the Crusader actually, when you're playing the DIK and play against the Crusader. Yeah. Just make sure that you're doing it like the DIK player over here. Retreat a little bit earlier, but later. It's important. So, now, you still can feel free to just play your regular brutish builds. Take up the T4, get yourself a another medium tank, stuff like that. However, as soon as you feel like, okay, my enemy is going for full cheese, you can feel free to go for full cheese as well. So, if your enemy is spamming pizza tanks, then you just spam back Crusader tanks, so that you're safe. And we say, okay, there's already the second pizza tank. So, that's a lot of cheese already. So, maybe let's save for another Crusader AA. Shall we? I think so. Okay, so and for each pizza tank you're facing, make sure that you get a Crusader AA medium tank. As long as you're doing that, and are careful to reveal all the pizza tanks, you should be fine with your Crusaders. Or you already saved the manpower for another Crusader. I should go for it soon. Okay, and when you do that, so when you see, okay, your enemy is indeed going for the full cheese and you have to go for full Crusader to just survive, make sure that you get the training center. I mean, you would like to get the training center anyway, sooner or later. However, in this situation, at least as soon as you got the second Crusader, maybe even earlier, you should go for the training center and for the armored vehicle training, just to buff your vehicles a little bit more. Because your enemy will also buff his Carro Armatos. However, as we see, the Carros are not weak. However, they are not that a huge threat to the Crusader AA medium tank. Some people like to go for the Stuart, that's fine as well. However, I think the Crusader AA medium tank is a little bit better actually. Especially because you can actually skip your T4 and just save for more command points. We see I already got one command point already again. And soon, as soon as I am getting 4 command points, I can go for the Churchill actually and just call it in. And that is actually the better choice instead of going for the T4, because the Carro Armatos will definitely overperform and outperform you when you spend your resources in the T4. Because as soon as you do that and your enemy is just spamming these Carro Armatos, you're actually wrecked, because you won't be able to stop them anymore. One now might say, okay, however, you could go for boys' rifles for your sections to deal with the Carro Armatos, and that's actually true. However, I think using this strat, and when you are able to go for the Crusader AA tanks, you already are well prepared for the Carro Armato spam. And this is why I think a better choice is to go for more anti-infantry firepower. Maybe not by taking the brands, but by taking the scopes, because yeah, I think these are more versatile because of the forward observer artillery barrage, which is also quite handy from time to time. I mean, it just costs 45 munitions to call in, and it can really threaten your enemy. If he is playing stationary, stuff like that, and we already saw that because he was playing the oh my god, the health truck, let's say. You know what I mean? The healing truck, huh? And MG and stuff like that. So I think he already in the early game already was using this ability. So I think it's a good choice to go for the scopes. All right, now 3 command points. And at this very moment I thought, should I go for another Crusader? Because obviously my enemy is going for the full cheese mode. However, I guess I decided to save my resources to get myself the Churchill. Let's see what's happening here. So, some pizza tanks over here, as well as the mechanized anti-tank group, which actually was a good choice. Oh, and now we see a snare coming up. It's also something. When the pizza tanks are engaging one of your squad that was overextending, make sure that you throw a snare before you retreat. Because sometimes it slows down the pizza tank, and sometimes that makes your squad survive. That's important. Okay, wipe for the DIK player, that is good. Yeah, and as you all can see, we are having the advantage already. So the Crusader AA tanks are able to deal with the pizza tank spam. Now one would say maybe, yeah, however, the DIK player could be able to tech switch for the Panzer III, and that is actually true. That is true, the Panzer IIIs would be a great threat for your Crusaders. Because they wouldn't pen anymore, and the Panther III would just wreck the Crusaders. Yeah, however, if that's the case, at least then you should make sure to go for an anti-tank gun. However, if he's not doing that, yeah, just go for the Churchill. So now we see that we already saved the command points and the resources to get ourselves the Churchill. And I think very soon it's GG. He already wasted one of his, I guess, 4 pizza tanks, right? Another snare. This pizza tank is quite low. Damaged engine. And now we're seeing the Churchill, and I think now the point has come where he says, alright, my cheese was not smelly enough. Okay, so I think we summed up everything already. Is there something I forgot? I don't think so. Maybe there's another thing. So after the Churchill, you still should go for the T4 actually, because if your enemy is countering all the stuff you're just using at this very moment to counter his cheese, and he survives, and you survives, and the late game, the super late game is kicking in, then it could be a huge threat for you if, yeah, for instance, a Tiger would come or enter the field, or plenty of Panther IIIs, stuff like that. And as soon as that's the case, you really would like to have the 17-pounder, because the 17-pounder is the only way to deal with these heavy tanks, yeah, properly, actually. However, with that, I think everything was pointed out. And with that, let's say GG, well played. And good time with countering the pizza tank spam.
Till 59.